Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to my 3 takeaways episode from the DeMarco Murray episode this past Monday. I hope you guys loved being exposed to DeMarco and his personality and who he genuinely is. And I think that my biggest takeaway from him as a person in general is his work ethic, because I think we talked about that a ton during the interview, his personal work ethic, how he always likes being around people who work hard and that sort of thing. And then the respect part of it too, I think is really cool of someone of his status. I think a lot of people of his status or celebrity status, professional athlete, whatever it is, have maybe a little bit harder of a time respecting people at the bottom of the totem pole. And he was like, whether you're a janitor or the CEO, I'm going to treat you the same exact way. And I think that's really cool and really special. But getting into my 3 takeaways, number 1, be the best regardless of circumstance. This is like the second question I asked him. I asked him, why do you think your work ethic is unique? And he said, it's unique because I work on becoming the best version of myself every single day, regardless of circumstance. I think a lot of us use certain circumstances as excuses not to work on being the best version of ourselves. When it's bad weather outside, it's like, oh, we're not going to go outside in the rain or, the cold. If it's cold outside, we're like, oh, we're not going to get out of bed. We use circumstances as excuses for not to take ourselves to the next level. And I think being mindful of that in your everyday life is super important. So when a negative circumstance or a less than ideal circumstance presents itself, if you can mindfully be like, that is there, that's maybe not ideal, but I'm still going to work on becoming the best version of myself, then that's a huge win for you and a huge self-confidence boost. And that's something that DeMarco's been able to do a lot. And he talked about in particular with an injury. He didn't let that injury, that negative circumstance hold him back. He still got there early and still stayed late and worked and put in the grind. Takeaway number 2, hold yourself accountable first. I think this is maybe one of my favorite ones of the 3, because when I asked him how he held people accountable in the NFL locker room, he immediately directed inward. He talked about how he held himself accountable first. And I think that's super cool because I think a lot of us in group settings or in team settings, when something goes wrong, we immediately think that it might be somebody else's fault and not what we did as an individual. And he talked about how you have to have all of your ducks in a row before you even think about holding anybody else accountable. You got to be on time. You got to be putting in the effort every single day, and you have to have respect for others, because if you don't do those things, if you're not on time and you don't put in the work, then how do you expect to hold somebody else accountable? Because they're just going to call you out and say, you can't call me out because you're not even doing these things yourself. So it's all about having that high accountability level for yourself and then having others just follow that themselves, and that holds themselves to a high accountability level. Number 3, go out on a limb. We talked about this in terms of him going into the broadcasting. So I will say something at the end. He was not doing the broadcasting anymore because he's taken on a new venture, and I'll mention that right at the end of the episode. But the 3rd takeaway, go out on a limb. He says, if you never take your shot, if you really never attack that thing, then you never know what's going to come of it. So if you're not sure, if you're thinking about taking on a certain situation or taking on a certain experience, but you're maybe a little bit scared because you're not sure what the result is going to look like, it's about going on a limb, taking that shot and attacking it and giving everything you got. And then if you fail, know that you gave it everything you got and you actually attempted it. So you can take the foundation and that. And then we talked about self-doubt, because everyone else has self-doubt and self-limiting beliefs, but you can't let that hold you back. You can't let that weakness show up as a reason that you shouldn't be doing it. You have to attack your weakness and be proactive about it and get out of your own way. He talked about how, when he was in the NFL, he actually went and learned a little bit about broadcasting and that sort of thing, because he was proactive about it as much as possible, because he knew that the situation might present itself after his career. So to let you guys know, I did this interview with DeMarco probably about 2 months ago now. But he just recently, about 2 weeks ago, accepted the running backs coaching job at the University of Arizona. I'm super stoked for him. He actually just moved out to Arizona today. I'm filming this on Wednesday. It will come out on Thursday. So he's moving out to Arizona. So good luck to you, DeMarco. Super pumped for you, man. I know it's exciting. I know you're going to get out of your comfort zone, but because of your hard work, your work ethic, and your respect for others, I know you're actually absolutely going to crush it and take Arizona to the top. But again, the 3 takeaways, guys: be the best regardless of circumstance. Don't let negative or less than ideal circumstances hold you back from becoming the best version of yourself that day. Number 2, hold yourself accountable first. Be willing to put in the grind and show up early and stay late yourself before you try to hold others accountable to do that same thing. Number 3, go out on a limb, because if you never take your shot and you never attack it, you never know what's going to come of it. Have a great day, guys.